US President Donald Trump will temporarily suspend all immigration due to the coronavirus pandemic. He says it is to protect the workforce. Mr. Trump hasn't given any details about when or how it would happen. Democrat lawmakers have condemned the decision, accusing Mr. Trump of using the crisis to achieve his long-term policy of curbing immigration. Simon Marks is in Washington, D.C. He joins us now. Simon, travel into the U.S. is already heavily restricted. How does a ban on immigration help in the fight against the coronavirus?
Well, President Trump appears in the tweet, and all we've got to go on so far, Steve, is the tweet. He didn't mention this at all during his news briefing at the White House last night. It was several hours later that he dropped this bombshell on Twitter. President Donald Trump clearly views this as an attempt to protect American jobs. He says he's doing this to help America's great American citizens, who, of course, are now facing substantial amounts of unemployment, more than 22 million people unemployed in the United States. So this he may view as a protectionist move that is designed to make sure that when jobs are created in the United States, they're created for people from the United States as opposed to people from outside. But there are real questions about the practical implications of all of this. Some White House officials are suggesting that the president's plan is temporarily to suspend the processing of green card applications and work visas from people outside the United States. But he could go further. He could suspend applications for tourist visas and ESTAs to visit the United States. Not, of course, that anyone is currently doing that, because there are barely any international flights bringing people into the United States from outside.
Simon, will Mr. Trump's executive order, will it likely face challenges from lawmakers and the courts?
Absolutely. Almost before it's signed, I think, Glenda. The ink won't even be dry before a whole variety of different interest groups start lobbing lawsuits in the president's direction. And he knows that, of course, because we've been through this before with the travel bans that he has previously instituted, some of them by executive order. And there's been a push-me-pull-you tug of war between the administration and the courts over the nature and terms of those travel bans. So there's no question whatsoever that this is going to face legal challenges. It could rise to the level of the US Supreme Court ultimately, but I think a lot is going to depend on how long he foresees this ban remaining in place, and whether this is a real attempt to try over a long-term period to restrict immigration into the United States, something that definitely Donald Trump favours, or whether this is an indication that between now and November, as he prepares to battle for re-election, he is choosing to open up another front in his rhetorical battle against people from outside the United States trying to get into the country.
Thanks very much for that. Simon Marks speaking to us from Washington, D.C.